You're watching Good Morning Nigeria. Time now for a background to our conversation, and it's packaged by Oyeyemi Ajayi.
Proliferation of small arms and light weapons in parts of the country has become a concern to all, especially leaders who have had sleepless nights as they plan to change this narrative. No doubt, efforts and measures have been made to mop them off the streets, but the high volume makes it seem near impossible. Reports indicate that proliferation of small arms and light weapons have resulted in armed conflicts, the displacement of people, organized crimes, and acts of terrorism, thereby undermining the peace, development, and security of Nigerians, and by extension, Africa. Hence, its eradication becomes imminent.
Open to, infiltration by terrorists from outside, from countries around surrounding Nigeria, and bringing in these weapons, selling them. Yes, the government is working hard to make sure that they don't come in, but how can we secure our borders to stop the infiltration of these small arms and light weapons into the country?
Thank you very much. It's a very glaring situation that everybody have attested to. Our borders are very, very porous, and the smugglers of these small arms and light weapons are having their days across our various borders. And what we're trying to see at the strategic level is that border security management is high time that Nigeria try to exploit technology more than ever before. Apart from that, we need to also work together in collaboration with our neighbors. We have more than 1,500 porous borders that are not manned by our people, illegal routes that people can come into Nigeria. And of course, as earlier stated by all the speakers, we have neighboring countries, strategic neighbors, where they're having crisis and all that. So all these weapons actually flow into Nigeria, apart from those that have been imported from outside Africa. But most importantly, interagency collaboration and whole of society approach is what we need. We cannot say we want to secure our border without carrying along the border communities. These are the key people. The work that the border communities can do, I want to say, is of the same with the immigration and customs and any other security agencies that are at the border. So the moment we are able to win the hearts and minds of these border communities, they will be able to work in collaboration with security agencies to be able to secure our border further. But the moment we leave them behind, they are going to be very easy collaborators with the criminals, and they'll be able to make more inflow into Nigeria. But a little away from that is that most time when we talk about proliferation of small arms and light weapons, we always focus on those imported weapons. And of course, about 15% of small arms and light weapons in Nigeria are locally made. They are craft weapons.
Made in Nigeria?
Yes. There's a statistic to that. Small Arms Survey and the National Center for Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons. The report of 2021 actually states that 13 out of 100 Nigerians, they have weapons.
13 out of
firearms, yes, 13 out of 100 Nigerians. And 14% of households in Nigeria, they have firearms in their house.
And why is that?
Simply because we've not been able to, like Kabira Adamu said, have a very formidable regulatory agency that will be able to do this. By the time the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons metamorphosed into a full commission with a full power, and we have regional and states, and of course local government centers where we can actually mop up this, create awareness, and regulate the conduct of our blacksmiths and professional welders. Believe you me, with 20,000 naira, a welder and a blacksmith can, collaborate and bring out a weapon for you in less than 3 hours.
What about the bullets?
The bullets, you see, we have locally made bullets. We have foreign bullets. We have many options of getting all that. And these are professionals in their way. They've studied what they call the street language, the English. The foreign-made weapons are called English. And by the time they see English and they study it, they come up with a good parody of it. And
close to it.
yeah, and it's off to the market.
I want to ask, what does English means? Why do they call it English?
Yeah, because in the colonial days, when the colonial, like the AIG said, the Firearms Act of the colonial era actually, ban, and regulate the possession of arms. So to possess English-made weapon was a kind of a thing of privilege. So when you have a British-made weapon, this is English.
Like a Magnum.
Yeah, so English. So by the time when you go to the street, English, you ask English. So they study the English, I think, and foreign product, and imitate it and come up with an instrument of criminality.
Okay, but that isn't quite as bad as one may think. This is not to deviate from the issue, but if we, rather than the way we go about it, harness the potentials in this regard, that could make for some security and economic gains, don't you think?
Absolutely. You see, we have DICON, and the military industrial complex of Nigeria is evolving. Unfortunately, we did a kind of a disservice to DICON after the war, the Civil War. During the Civil War, DICON actually surpassed its capacity and supply the requirement of the armed forces and all that. But after the war, we lost the political will, and DICON became what it has become today. And we need to do a thorough study and survey to analyze the potentials of Nigerians who can actually work in the military industrial complex and see how we can galvanize DICON and other private, well-vetted private armed production companies where we can fix these people and annex this potential to be able to make Nigeria self-reliant in terms of weapons and military equipment.
Yes.
Let me quickly get to Dr. Abdullah as we gradually wind up this conversation. Now, I from what he has said, I'm just trying to say, how effective has it been, the attempts by government to mop up arms from ex-combatants?
Thank you very much. Let me use the Northeast situation as an example. All is not negative. Unlike what we had in 2015, at the peak of insurgency and terrorism in this country, between 2015 and now, we've had about 700% reduction in fatality and 300% reduction in incidents. Attacks have reduced by 300%. The fatality has reduced by 700%. And we have about 200,000 people, ex-combatants and their relatives and others who have, surrendered to the government. We have Operation Safe Corridor, whereby the ex-terrorists, render their arms, and all these are being mopped up into our armories and all that. What we need to do is to give ourselves more impetus on how we can do this aggressively. When this, like the AIG said, when the criminal elements understand the fact that they can surrender to the state and state can give them an alternative life. Like Operation Safe Corridor, we have a lot of skills acquisition that is going on there, and people are being graduated, even though the program is yet to be perfect, because there's also the issue of community integration after the program, and how we, start these people up. But what I'm trying to say in essence is that we have recorded a lot of success in terms of reduction of attack and fatality, and of course, the arms mopping from the ex-terrorists and other criminal elements is getting increased.
Okay.
And we are getting them into our, armories in the safe places. So
that's quite good. Nigerians watching this program now, we will say, okay, things are getting into a better perspective in the area of security.
Dr. Kabir Adamu, security risk management expert, thank you very much for your contributions on Good Morning Nigeria.
Thank you for having me.
Let's also thank quickly Ibrahim Ahmed Katsina, retired ADG, Department of State Services, and former security advisor to Governor Masari. We thank you very much for coming on Good Morning Nigeria. Not forgetting AIG Abutu Yaro, retired AIG Zone 13 and former CP Edo, Zamfara, and Imo State CP Federal Operations. We thank you for your time and thoughts on today's program. Dr. Adam Abdullahi, Senior Research Fellow and Head of Department, Defense and Security Studies at the National Defense College, Abuja. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your contributions.
Thank you.
And finally, to JOS, where Major General Gabriel Adofiku retired, we thank you for your contributions from that end, and pray that peace will reign on the plateau. Thank you very much. That's been Good Morning Nigeria. We thank you and talk about national development. Thank you for watching. I'm Victor Azu.
And I'm Jumwe Yusuf. Remember, this is your holy country.